Hi everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm Fiber Fox Studios, and today we are going to be working on pattern 44's upside down anchor. And the reason why I am doing the upside down orientation is specifically for those of you who are going to be working top down on a project, sweaters, a triangular shawl, or something like a bag. So if you are doing zipper down on any type of bag that you're making, this would be the particular design you would need to use, the orientation I mean, because we need to have it upside down so that when we're wearing it or using it, that the pattern is right side up. So this is specifically for that. You could also use this for a border, and when your blanket is finished, your anchors would be pointing outward instead of the regular orientation. If you were to use that as for something like a blanket border, your anchors would be facing in. So this gives you a different option, different way to work it, and hopefully you will enjoy it. For those of you who are new, down in the description, you're going to find a lot of extra information, timestamps, links to the Etsy store, as well as links to relevant videos and playlists that I have here on the channel to talk about how you handle your ends. There's also a video on what you can do to eliminate any gaps on the back here. So there's lots of information down there, so make sure you're always checking out the description for anything used in the video, yarn, hooks, all that stuff, all down there every single time. Now we're working today in a multiple of 14 plus 4 if you're working flat. You are going to be starting in color A. So for me, that is the white yarn. You're going to grab your color A, your favorite crochet hook, and we're going to jump in and get started. We begin by chaining in the multiple of 14 over and over as many times as you would like. If you're going to work flat like me, you're going to add 4 chains to the end of your chain count. So for my swatch, I have chained 14 twice for a total of 28 chains. Then I added 4 chains to the end, which brought me to a grand total of 32 starting chains. If you're going to work in the round, you are just simply going to chain in the multiple of 14 over and over, and then you will slip stitch to the first chain that you made to form a ring, and you will begin working the repeats given in the video in the same stitch that you slip stitch into. You will be maintaining your chain count, and it will always be divisible by 14 when you're working in the round. So to get started, for those of us who are working in the round, we are going to be chaining out, and then we are going to begin row 1 now. To begin, we skip the very first chain from our hook and move here to the second, and we want to go completely into that stitch. So you want to go in under the V. Now we're going to grab our yarn and pull up a loop, and then we grab and pull through those 2 little loops, doing our first traditional single crochet. So we will be doing a traditional single crochet at the start and end of every row. For row number 1, our repeat is very simple. We are going to be working a back loop only single crochet in each and every stitch all the way down. And then in our final stitch, we'll be doing our traditional single crochet. So we begin working now. We pick up just the one side of the stitch, the back loop, and then we single crochet just like normal from there. So we're going to continue to work, placing 1 back loop only single crochet in every stitch except for the very last stitch. We'll meet up at the end of the row to finish that final stitch together. We are now here at the end of the row. You will have 1 stitch left. All of your final stitches of the row get a traditional single crochet. So that just means we go into the complete stitch, and then you single crochet just like normal from there. Now we're going to be binding off because we are going to be switching between color A and color B all throughout the project. So we begin our starting chain in color A. So now we need to bind off so that we can join on with color B. So the bind off is very simple. I just chain up 2 and then clip my yarn and cinch that down to make a little knot. You, of course, can bind off however you prefer, but this is just what I do. So I'm going to grab the tail, and now I place thumb and index right above those 2 chains. Pull up on your tail and push down with your thumb and index, and you will have that perfect little knot, and your work will not come undone. So now we're going to return without turning this over. We just return back to the start of the row. And we are going to identify the very first stitch in our row. Because when we start out, we chain and we are using color A to do our starting chain and row 1, we have that little turning chain that we needed so that we could turn and begin row 1. The turning chain is this little bump here on the side, and that will scoot down out of your way. You want to make sure you don't accidentally grab that up and work into it. We need to identify the very first stitch in the row and go completely in the stitch under the V. I am way too tight. So, pro tip, try not to be so tight at the start of the row. All right, so now that we are finally into that very first stitch, we need to join on color B. So for me, that's going to be the blue yarn, and I just take color B. There's the tail of it, and I'm going to add it onto my hook. Now I need to pull up that loop. Now we're going to grab the tail and working yarn, so both strands, and we're going to chain 1. Now you can allow the tail to fall and let it just over out of the way. And we need to go back in to the same exact first stitch. We need to insert into that and finish out our traditional single crochet that begins every row. So now we grab our yarn, pulling up our loop. It looks like we have the 3 loops on our hook. Grab and pull through all of those, and that is all you need to do. So that's your traditional single crochet, and you use that method every row to join on. So now we're going to begin our repeat for row number 2, which is very simple. We're doing exactly the same as what we did on row 1. We need to work a back loop only single crochet into each stitch. So we make sure that we pick up back loop only, and now we just single crochet like normal from there. So for the rest of the tutorial, I'll refer to these as single crochets, and you will know that when you are working the repeat stitches, all single crochets are always worked in the back loop only. So we're going to keep working, and we'll meet up for row number 3 whenever you're ready. Remember, at the end of the row, you are doing a traditional single crochet in the very last stitch of the row so that you can bind off. Row number 3 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 3's repeat begins by working 7 double crochets. So we're going to be working all of our double crochets just like I'm about to show you. Wrap your yarn around your hook, identify the very next stitch, and then you need to slide directly down 2 rows below to this front loop that we left from doing back loop only single crochets. We're going to pick up that loop. Now we grab our yarn and pull up a loop. And now from here, we're going to work a double crochet just like normal. We're going to grab and pull through 2, grab and pull through 2. So the placement of the stitch is what makes it mosaic. Other than that, it's exactly like a double crochet that you're used to doing. We just have to make sure we're anchoring it down here, and our color A is anchoring to our color A row 2 rows below. So we're going to move on and complete the next 6 double crochets for the beginning of the repeat, but we need to make sure that we know exactly where our next stitch is. If you're ever unsure, you can fold this double crochet back, and each double crochet takes up 1 stitch back here on the row. So when we place this back into position, we can tell that our next double crochet is right here, or our next stitch is right there. So now we're going to complete the second double crochet. Number 3. Number 4. Five, six, and last but not least, number 7. Now we'll work 1 single crochet. So right here, very next stitch, working of course in the back loop only. And we'll end the repeat by working 6 double crochets. There's number 1. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 3's repeat began with 7 double crochets, 1 single crochet, and we end the repeat with 6 double crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches. For those of you who are not new, I am going to be working the repeat a second time, so you can use the timestamps down below to skip ahead to row 4 when you are finished. For those who are new, we're about to work the repeat again one more time together. So this is how you will be working all your repeats. So our repeat started with 7 double crochets, so we're going to begin that now. So here we are where we just ended. We begin our repeat again by working 7 double crochets. Here's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Now we'll work 1 single crochet, and we end the repeat with 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. And that ends our repeat. So as you can see, when you continue to work your repeat, you have this section where you have all these double crochets together. So our repeat ends with 6 and then begins with 7. So this is correct. You should have that long section in between the single crochets where we have all of our double crochets where our repeat ends and then starts again. So as you can tell, when you're doing this, it's going to look kind of fiddly. This is because we are not anchored up to the single crochets that we have from the previous row. So it creates that kind of gappy effect. This will start to relax as you work your project on out. So don't, worry about this. But down in the description, I've linked a video to another creator who has come up with a method to anchor these so that you just get nice straight stripes across the back without the gaps. So that's down in the description. But let's move on to the row end real quick. At the end of every single row, you will have 2 stitches left. To work these 2 stitches, we are going to restart the repeat for 1 stitch. So right here in the second to last stitch from the end of the row, we're going to restart our repeat. And then we already know our final stitch of the row gets a traditional single crochet. So for row number 3, our repeat begins with double crochets. So we're going to work a double crochet right here. And now in our very last stitch, we work our traditional single crochet going completely in the stitch under the V. And we bind off. So you will notice that at the end of the row, we now have 7 double crochets. And at the start of the row, we have 7 double crochets. So restarting your repeat for that 1 stitch evens out your final design so that everything matches at the start of the row with the end of the row and vice versa. So now we're going to move on to row number 4. Row number 4 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 4's repeat begins with 7 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets will end our repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 4's repeat began with 7 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets. So you're going to keep repeating this exact set of 14 stitches all the way down your row over and over. And then you will meet up with me when you are ready for row number 5. Remember, the end of the row, you will have 2 stitches left after your last repeat, and you will restart the repeat for 1 stitch and then single crochet in the very last stitch of the row. Row number 5 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 5's repeat begins with 5 double crochets. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to work 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we will end our repeat with 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and last but not least, number 4. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 5's repeat began with 5 double crochets, 5 single crochets, and we end the repeat with 4 double crochets. So continue to work that exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row 6 whenever you're ready. Row number 6 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 6 repeat begins with 7 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 double crochet, and we will end the repeat with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now let's recap. Row number 6 repeat began with 7 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end the repeat with 6 single crochets. So you are going to continue to work this exact set of stitches on down your row. Meet up with me for row 7 whenever you're ready. Row number 7 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 7 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 7's repeat begins with 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, there's number 1, 2, 1 single crochet, and we'll end the repeat with 3 double crochets. One, 2, and number 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap what we've done. Row number 7's repeat began with 4 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, and we end with 3 double crochets. Continue to work that exact set and meet up with me for row number 8. Row number 8 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 8's repeat begins with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, and number 2. 1 double crochet, and the repeat will end with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Let's recap what we've done. Row number 8's repeat began with 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 3 single crochets. So continue to work this exact set and meet up with me when you're ready for row number 9. Row number 9 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 9's repeat begins with 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. 11 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 double crochet, and that ends our repeat. So let's recap. Row number 9's repeat began with 2 double crochets, 11 single crochets, and we end the repeat with 1 double crochet. So you're going to continue to work this exact set and meet up with me when you're ready for row 10. Row number 10 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 10's repeat begins with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, and last but not least, we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So let's recap it. Row number 10's repeat began with 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 3 single crochets. So you are going to continue to work this exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row 11. Row 11 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 11's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. And we end the repeat by working 1 single crochet right here in this very next stitch. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap what we've done. Row number 11's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 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 and we end with 1 single crochet. So keep repeating that exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row 12. Row number 12 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 12's repeat begins with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll end the repeat with 1 double crochet. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 12's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, and the repeat ends with 1 double crochet. So you will start back over at the beginning of that repeat, keep working, and meet up with me for row number 13. Row 13 begins now, and we're working in color A. This is Courtney from the future. I made a mistake and paused the video when I should have been recording me working the row. So there is no visual of the row being worked, but our repeat for row 13 is 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, and we end with 2 single crochets. So you will just work that set of stitches that you can see on screen already worked. You'll work those on your end and then meet up with me for row 14. Row number 14 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 14's repeat begins with 2 single crochets, 1 and number 2, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet ends that repeat. So let's recap what we've done. Row 14's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet ends that repeat. So continue to work that exact set. Meet up with me for row 15. Row 15 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 15's repeat begins with 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 11 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we end the repeat by working 1 double crochet. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 15's repeat began with 2 double crochets, 11 single crochets, and we end with 1 double crochet. So continue to work that exact set and meet up with me for row 16. Row number 16 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 16's repeat begins with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And we end the repeat with 2 single crochets. 1, 2. So now let's recap it. Row 16's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, and we end with 2 single crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set and meet up with me for our final row, which is row 17. Row number 17 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 17's repeat begins with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. 2 double crochets ends that repeat. 1, 2. So let's recap it. Row 17's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, and of course 2 double crochets ends the repeat. So you are going to continue to work that exact set, and then once you've completed row 17, to continue to work up, if you're going to make a larger project, let's say you're doing a purse, you are going to rewind back to row number 2, and you will work rows 2 through 17 as many times as you would like to grow out your larger project. When you are restarting the repeat, so when you go back to row 2, at that point, if you wanted to swap out your color B, you could do so and change it out when you restart the repeat each time. So that's when I would recommend doing the color change, is when you're doing the repeat start over. That's when I would swap out my color B. And you can change out color A as you restart the repeat. You would do that at row 3. Just for those of you who needed that information. As always, I do really appreciate you for watching. Please make sure that you are giving the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I do really appreciate seeing the thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. And as always, until next time, thank you for watching. Bye for now.